2 years ago, I put together a Slinky with a few of my Preloved hoops for Gunit. If you'd ask why I'd have decided to pull it all apart and let go of everything that was once my life, we'd have to go a little back in time. Being a hooper, I earned my living flying to perform at events that paid well after the fight I put up nobody would be aware of, and worked hard to make my half of rent with hooping that had no place in India. This involved having to invest in, taping carefully, storing and lugging alone the weight of bazillion hoops of different shapes, sizes and colors so I could do justice to the events I performed at. I more often than not ended performances with the Slinky which I had put together with my own hands eons ago. This rainbow was much loved by audiences all over India. That journey was short-lived. Events would happen in a way to a point you make the choice to step back from reality TV, from stage, from events, and people will say, hey, but it was your choice, not knowing anything of what all led to those choices. The last I performed with my Slinky was at India's Got Talent in 2018, one of my best work that never got telecasted. Then at a TEDx talk in Mumbai in 2018, link of which I'm sharing below, and lastly in a showcase by Gen X Dance School in 2019, when a bike ran over me which almost felt deliberately done, and I went to perform with bruises regardless. 2020 brought everything to a standstill. Even more so, I had to pack up everything and return to family after decades of being away to make it in India, only to realize I was only a disruption taking up valuable ground space. For the 5 years since, I've been letting go of 5 bags of hoops as nobody had space for them, and there's only so much of a career I could continue building when everything from health, shows, personal, professional, everything had been sabotaged, and I was back and forth my live-in and family wishing I could just live in a tempo to salvage bits and pieces even. All this nudged me towards questioning why I had so much in the first place, and led me to letting go of everything slowly. Embracing a minimalistic approach where I want to live out of a bag so I can share skill on the streets if need be, if I cannot afford rent any day.
It'll come with time.
I never want to be at the receiving end of being told I took someone's savings or pension money or house, neither have to go back to living under someone's roof with their sabotaging habits and caught up in something toxic as the only way to salvage my dying career as a hoop performing artist. I could have been in the sideline or have chosen to play. The choice of playing cost me to the point of being sidelined out of the limelight, which I never grew the courage to take back ever again, for a long time, not as a solo hoop performing artist. Not the way I once did at least. Few students brought me back to stage, but it's scary to take the limelight given everything I had experienced. With time, I gained the wisdom that my Slinky video wouldn't make for viral content, cause like other fathers who would support and share their daughter's video with the world, couldn't be my reality. The bond I have with my father has been so strained that my being alive barely matters to his existence. And the art I had to offer was everything I had, the only validation I ever got, regardless of what that would have meant to the community that hated me for once shining. It became exhausting to fight for budget event after event when they had all the money to pay foreigners and other departments. Being a local performer wasn't enough. Even recently, when I dared to answer one event call after 5 years, they went with a Russian who quoted half, letting me know I charged too much. Too little or too much, nobody would ever be in my shoes. Also why I wanted to quit having anything to do with money, but had no support in building the alternative possibilities. Hooping was my survival, and when it all got taken away from me, I latched on to the bare minimum I can give while I give away. I had to scratch my dreams of recycling and building my own minimal hoops with zero packaging, or even explore the idea as I got pushed back into rent and class when I had voiced the need for home, care and stillness for once, and what I hoped would be support ended up a nightmare yet again. Hence, I support in my little way others who do get to make things happen and share the most minimal possibilities I can suggest given my circumstance. So, keeping in mind the lessons of 2020 and wanting to continue cutting down my footprint as we must, I ask myself some questions. Will I ever take a flight again? Perhaps not. I haven't since 2019. Will I ever do a Slinky again? Perhaps not. I never want to be on stage with bazillion hoops promoting the consumeristic mindset of having more, and more. Will I drive back and forth with 100 non-collapsible hoops again? Perhaps not. Gave the car back ages ago and will be taking bus metro for life. Will I ever be taping hoops again? Never. Never ever not. Will I ever chase any of what I earlier did ambitiously? Perhaps not. The very little I do is only for the kids I teach. Time changes everything. Vision changes. Sometimes all you need is a room where you can formulate your thoughts and ideas in peace to be able to do what you're here to do without having abusers hurled at you or being in the way. Reinventing isn't easy when nobody has space for what you have to offer. I learned the hard way that to continue to do what I envision in terms of hooping in my country, I cannot really count on anyone. Not my partner, not my family, nobody for a room. Just a room. Hence, I had to move out alone and try to do whatever little I can, even if consumed by homesickness. I thank the 3-4 studio owners that make it possible for me to teach the little I know and earn money to continue to pay my rent on time to the landlord just so I could have a room to be able to continue my journey of letting go of everything I have, even if it has been exhausting and isolating. Even if in process I lost all motivation to cook healthy or go for sunning and nature walks or follow all of what I once was doing and wanted to prioritize. I hope nobody ever has to be called bad names because they weren't like their sister. I hope nobody has to pay a price for picking an art form to make a living with in India. Which brings me to how a Slinky that takes forever to build takes only moments to bring down. But if brought down with purpose of rebuilding and letting go, why not? Knowing my Slinky or performance may have no place in this country or world, not in the post-2020 world at least, I decided to let it go, and Gunit's mom had been kind enough to reach out to me and give me not one, but 2 chances to build what I could, also paying me for the work I put in, making space for something second-hand as well. Who even does that? You might be unaware what this meant to me 2 years ago, but I do want to share this with the world today. When I failed at my first second-hand giveaway, my father told me, why don't you just go place it all outside anywhere? Can I put it all above? When I was already letting go of them slowly to NGOs. If only he had once heard how I wanted to do this mindfully. But not once. When often your loved ones don't have space for you or your vision, strangers come in and make you feel at home and loved and feel supported. Universe works in mysterious ways perhaps. In a cutthroat world, thank you for giving me a second chance to build what once broke. Even though it pushed me through the guilt of contributing to more garbage, I could come to terms with the fact that it would be ending with this and I was only making use of what I already had. I only had to buy stronger fishing cord as the one I had was too thin. The rest was everything I already had. It is so satisfying to know that something I once held on to can now be a part of Gunit's life and she can give it the meaning it deserves, instead of it gathering dust with me. I hope Gunit gets to perform with it as much as she deserves and hope India never lets her down. Grateful for everything that happened out of the blue to sabotage everything that gave meaning to my life for so long. But also grateful that the universe took it all away when it felt it was time, only to make space for more letting go. Divine timing perhaps. I will continue my onward journey of letting go, as painful as the journey may be. I promise to never take the limelight with the Slinky ever again. But I do promise to be of help to you so you don't ever end up making the same mistakes I did in my hoop journey, by suggesting you alternatives that I choose to follow now, today, and for the times to come. I may not be able to tell you how to build an empire, but I may be able to tell you how to live with as little as you can after everything that meant everything to you is taken away. I hope I can push you to hoop for you, not for an industry, and show you ways by which we can be less of a burden and waste generated on earth. My solutions may not be perfect because I never got the time or space or leisure to be able to prioritize it or give it the time and research this subject and endeavor deserves. But I'm sure I'll find my home, my family, someday that would hear, understand, make space for, and support my vision for India, for the world. Thank you, Gunit and Jimmy ma'am, for buying a first and last Slinky from me in the meanwhile.
Go for it again and stay. Stay, maybe you can take your turns or whatever. And yes, Chris. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Very nice. Yes, so good. Clappy, नहीं? मैं बोला, maybe not.